All right, well, hello there, and welcome, folks, to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I'm your host, Daniel Turner. It's great to be with you, coming to you from sunny Barcelona in Spain, where I don't think they've heard of baseball. But they did have an Olympics here in 1992, and today we wandered around the old Olympic Stadium area on Montjuic Mountain, and it was awesome. Saw the cool Olympic cauldron, wasn't lit, the stadium, and the St. Jordi Palace arena that was also part of it. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. Beautiful views of the city. The Sagrada Familia Basilica or Cathedral really stands out. It's super, super tall compared to everything else around it. It's pretty sweet to see from the top of the mountain. And the port is massive. There's containers that go on forever. It was extraordinarily hot. And at the top, there's a Castel Montjuic. And if you controlled that castle, you controlled everything. They had all these gigantic cannons up there. They were pointed out at the harbor and stuff. So good luck getting up there unless you controlled it. We took a gondola, which was pretty nice. And then we went to the beach. La Playa de la Bagotela is where we went. And it was magnificent. And the water was very salty and warm. And there were boats from the America's Cup going around, like big, fast sailing yachts, whipping around in the harbor. And we had a traditional Catalonian salad and a beer and some sangria. And it was awesome. So, guess what else is awesome? The Mariners swept the Mets. They won 12-1 last night. 12-1, you guys. They won 6-0, 4-0, and 12-1. This was a series for the Mariners, frankly, not for the Mets. So the win brings the M's to 63-56, second in the American League West. Mets dropped to 61-57, third in the NL East. 6 hits for the Mets, 1 run, 1 error. 12 hits for the M's, 12 runs, no errors. Luis Castillo got his well-deserved 10th win of the year, 10-11 now, 3.40 ERA. Luis Severino, the battle of the Luises, he lost 7-6, 4.17 ERA on the season. Castillo went 6 strong, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 9 Ks, and a homer. Severino, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, 2 homers. Former Mariner Ryan Stanek pitched a third of an inning, 2 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. Yikes. Then it was Ottavino, Young, and Maton for the Mets. Ottavino, 2 hits, 2 runs. Young, 1 hit, 2 runs, 3 walks. And Maton, 1 hit, 2 Ks. But Young and Ottavino also got 2 Ks apiece. But Young walked 3 as well. So 15 strikeouts for the New York Mets pitching. And they gave up 12 runs. Unbelievable. Mariners struck out 13 Mets. Pretty good. M's were 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 7 on base. Mets were 0 for 8, left 9 on base. Not how you win a ball game, folks. Especially if you strike out 15 or whatever they did, 14. I mean, it's not hard to strike out the Mariners. They love to strike out, but still. Scoring, well, the guy who did it was Big Cal Raleigh. So this was the first game on Sunday Night Baseball for the Mariners at home since 2004. A game they played against the White Sox back in 2004, that Jamie Moyer started for the Mariners and Esteban Loaiza started for the White Sox. By the way, Ichiro had 2 hits in it, and that was the season he had 262 hits. Bottom of 2, Jorge Polanco, 11th of the year, solo shot, 1-0. Then, bottom of 5, Randy Arozarena, single, Dom Canzone scores. Then, Big Cal, 25th of the year, 2-run shot, scoring Randy, 4-0 Mariners. Jeff McNeil got the 1 run for the Mets in the top of the 6th, his 11th of the year, a solo shot. Then bottom of 6, Leo Rivas singled. Polanco scored. Victor Robles then singled, allowing Luke Raley and Josh Rojas to score. There was an error there that allowed Robles to advance. Cal then homered, 26th of the year, 3-run shot this time, scoring himself, Leo Rivas, and Victor Robles. Bottom of 7, Victor Robles walked with the bases loaded to score Luke Raley. And then Randy was hit by a pitch in the same inning with the bases loaded, scoring another run, made it 12-1 your final. That final run scored by Josh Rojas. So the boys were great. 3 strikeouts for Rojas, 5 Ks for Julio. Oh boy. So Julio was DHing. They scored 12 runs, and he was 0 for 5 in the cleanup spot. Yikes. With 5 Ks. Not solid. He's probably having a mental difficulty with that, but whatever. He'll get better. I don't care. The Mariners scored 12 runs. Unfortunately, though, and we'll just do the scores first, the bloody Astros also swept the Red Sox. So they won 10-2 yesterday, 62-55. So the Mariners are still like a half game back, or basically tied with the Astros at the top of the American League West. Elsewhere, Angels over the Nats. Who cares? That was a 6-4 final. Yankees beat the Rangers 8-7, so a bit more distance between the M's and the Rangers in the division. That's good. The Athletics beat the Blue Jays 8-4. I'm pretty sure that's a sweep for them. Rays over the Orioles 2-1. Rays are pretty far back of the Mariners, not hugely important. Marlins over the Padres 7-6. Guardians over the Twins 5-3. Guardians saying that's enough. Get away from me, Minnesota. Reds 4, Brewers 3. Rockies 9, Braves 8. Braves are reeling. I think they've tumbled out of a wild card spot. Pretty crazy that they would do that. Tigers 5, Giants 4. Dodgers 6, Pirates 5 in 10 innings. D-backs 12, Phils 5, and that'll do it. Is it Monday? I think it's Monday. It is Monday. So we're going to do the Sunday on a Monday recap. So we'll go to the standings real quick here. I am on vacation, so I got to get this done quickly. Hogs, AL East. Orioles leading 70-49. Tied with the Yankees 70-49. They're both 4.5 games up in the wild card. That's a half game more than they were last week. Then the Red Sox 61-55, 7.5 back in the division, 3 back in the wild card. Rays 59-58, 5.5 back in the wild card. Blue Jays 54-64, 11 back in the wild card. AL Central Guardians lead it by 3.5 over Minnesota, 69-49. Minnesota second place, 65-52, 3.5 back in the division, as I said, and a half-game shield in the wild card. Royals are next, 65-53, half game behind Minnesota, so 4 back in the division, and they hold the final American League wild card spot. Detroit Tigers, 56-63, 9.5 back in the wild card. White Sox, 28-91, worst team in baseball, 37.5 games back in the wild card, minus 251 on the run differential. AL West, only division that matters. Houston, 62-55, a winning percentage of .530. Seattle Mariners, 63-56, tied atop the division. They are 1/100th of a percentage point behind the Astros based on their record, and they're 2.5 back in the wild card. Houston plus 57, Seattle plus 40. Then the Rangers, 55-63, 10 games back in the wild card, 7.5 in the division. Then the Angels, 52-66, 13 back in the wild card. Oakland, 50-69, 15.5 back in the wild card. Over the NL, Phillies leading the East, 69-49. Then the Braves, 61-56, 7.5 back in the division. They hold a wild card spot, but no cushion. The Mets, after being swept by the Mariners, are now 61-57, 8 games back in the division, half a game back in the wild card. They've fallen out. Nats, 54-65, 8 games back in the wild card. Marlins, 44-75, 18 back in the wild card, 25.5 in the division. They're out of it. NL Central, most interesting division right now. Milwaukee leading still, 67-50. Then the Cardinals, 60-58, 7.5 back, 1.5 back in the wild card. Cubbies, 59-60, 3 back in the wild card. Cincinnati, 57-61, 4.5 back in the wild card. And the Pirates have fallen off, 56-61, 5 back in the wild card now. They've lost 7 in a row and are 1-9 in their last 10, minus 21 on the differential. Ouch. NL West, that's where all the wins have gone. 60-49 leading the division are the Los Angeles Dodgers. Then the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 66-53 now, 3.5 back in the division, but they have a 4-game lead in the wild card all of a sudden. And so do the San Diego Padres with an identical record. Then come the Giants, 61-59, 4th place in the division, 9 back, but only a game and a half back in the wild card. Wowee-wee-wah. Then the Colorado Rockies, 44-75, 18 back in the wild card. They're the worst team in the National League, just worse than the Marlins. They have the same record, but a worse differential. Worst team in the league, Chicago White Sox. Best team in the league, still the Phillies, Yankees, and Orioles all have the best records. So there you are. You're up to date. Now, what are the Mariners doing next? Well, they have a day off on Monday, so they're not playing today. But then I believe we don't like to believe on this show. We like to face facts. So yeah, they're not playing tonight. The Astros are at Tampa. Could be tough. Then on Tuesday, the M's go to Detroit. So they play 3 against Detroit. They haven't named a starter yet, but they'll have to face Tarek Skubal again, who's 13-4 with a 2.57 ERA. He's the best pitcher in the American League. So that's going to be tough for the Mariners. Then on Wednesday, again, no starters named. And then Thursday, I can't imagine a starter's been named if there's no starters named on Wednesday. That's correct. So we'll check back in with you from somewhere else in Spain and do the show from there. But until then, thanks for listening.